time for Nerdgasm.
Hey, what's up guys? Jerry here, aka Barnacules, and I'm down here at PDX Land 28 in Portland, Oregon. And I am sitting here with Mr. Travis Jank and Mr. Richard Surroz, otherwise known as Darth Beavis. What is your alias, by the way? Are you just Travis?
I'm Travis, but also known as V2.
V2. Whoa, like the missile?
Like the missile.
Ladies. All right, so today they're going to show me how to do some cable pinning here. So we got some sleeved power supply cable. I'm guessing that looks kind of power supply-ish.
Exactly.
We got some tools. And they just figured, what the hell, let's show Jerry how to pin cables because everybody thinks I'm lazy and I don't do anything myself. So what do you guys do? Why don't you tell everybody a little bit of what qualifies you to teach me how to put plastic on the end of wire?
Well, Richard and I have been working together for over 10 years, building crazy boutique mods, custom computers of the highest caliber, overclocked to the maximum with custom liquid cooling, and you name it. We've come up with some unique stuff. You can see it on TV shows like the Vanilla Ice Project, and we're excited to build something new and push the limits of what's been tried.
No, these guys are absolutely awesome. I'll have links to everything they're doing down in the video description. Always check the video description. If you don't check the video description, I'm sad. I'm disappointed with you and your general life decisions.
But I digress.
What would I need to pin my own cables for? Why don't I just buy some cables and install them in my computer?
Well, you can't always find the right cables, matching color scheme, the right length.
Okay.
So maybe you don't have enough time and you can't get the cables ordered. It's a weekend. You want a game. You're at a LAN party like PDX Land. You got a beautiful Core P5 system. Ooh. But what you need to make it run is the power cables. So what we're doing right now is finishing up some sleeve cables, and we're going to get them crimped. That way we can plug it in, power on, and game. Yeah,
I was looking. Here's one of the cable examples we have that I can see here. It looks like there's still some work to be done, but it looks like you have wires coming into the connectors, wires coming out of the connectors. They're also color-coded, obviously. My biggest fear with doing stuff like this is getting it wrong and getting the wires in the wrong hole. So before you even show me how to potentially destroy my whole computer, why don't you tell me a little bit about how you keep that from happening?
You're gonna run into problems. You're gonna have mistakes, but if you take it one step at a time and you check your work, you can really make sure to avoid problems here.
How much damage can you do to your computer if you say you get the negative and positive or the 12 volt and the 5 volt backwards? I mean, are the electronics pretty hardened against that these days, or are you starting to see Puff the Magic Dragon pop out?
You're going to see magic smoke, especially when it comes to a video card 8-pin like this. If you've got it wired wrong and you cross the 12 volt in the ground, you can end up shorting out your power supply, which usually will survive, but the video card tends not to. You can cause some significant damage.
So make damn sure that you got your cables right. All right, so what tools do we need to do this? What are the things that we need here?
So we've got some awesome tools here. These are some nice little specialty tools that really make it easy to get the job done.
Okay.
You can usually pair of wire snips, pliers, get the job done.
Okay.
However, it's not going to be clean. There's going to be mistakes. You're going to have to try a couple of times to get it right.
Okay.
But if you get some strippers, that makes the cable sleeving much easier. You get some strippers. Okay? Putting those terminators on with these is a breeze. It means that once you get it on there, that wire is going to stay on there, and you're not going to have it falling out and magic smoke getting out.
What does it cost for just a simple pair of strippers? Come on, Travis. In Portland, Oregon, how much does it cost for like a decent stripper, like one that's going to get the job done and not clutter up your toolbox?
Not much. A couple of singles, and there you go. I think I've seen crimpers like this on Amazon Prime for $5-10. The strippers, there's definitely varying brands out there of quality. You could spend $30 on one if you do a lot of stripping.
Yep.
And if you're a first-time beginner, you might want to get the $5 one and figure out and see if it's right for you.
So you're not going to break the bank, and in the long run, you're going to save a lot of money, because you can buy all this wire and stuff in bulk.
Yeah.
I'm guessing cut it to exact lengths and everything like that, and it's going to be a lot cheaper than paying somebody else to make you a custom cable set. Plus, be unique.
You're basically what happens when you make the decision of sleeving your own cable versus buying it is time, convenience, and money. If you don't have the time, you like the convenience, you have the money, buy them pre-done.
Okay.
If you like to tinker and you want to do it yourself and give it a try and have a learning experience, I say give yourself plenty of time, get plenty of extra wires, sleeving, terminators, and crimpers.
Oh yeah, that actually brings up a good point. these guys right here. These are the little posts. What are they called?
Yeah, so these are the terminators. This is what we're going to crimp on.
So these are the little pins that go on the end of the wires and then feed into the connector.
Exactly.
So that everything can be easily disconnected and reconnected without wearing it out. So I used to do some pretty ghetto stuff with my computers back in the day where if I didn't have these, I would just take the wire and literally cut off the end and slide it down through the sheathing on the wire on the pin, and I can't tell you how many times that bit me in the ass and caused me infinite problems. So we're gonna learn to do it the right way.
You probably should have soldered that wire in place.
Yes, actually I learned that my Toyota Corolla I had that I turbocharged. I literally took electrical tape to do all of the terminals for the Greddy e-manage system that was tied into the ECU. Didn't solder anything. Driving down the road, the fuel injectors would just cut out. Then you hit a bump and it'd be like, oh, no fuel injectors. Oh, they're back. I'd have to wiggle the dash bundle. Solder your wires. Although you don't have to if you got crimped, if they're crimped, right?
Yeah, no, you don't have to solder when you crimp them here. You don't have to use any kind of bonding agents, glues, flux, anything like that. So
no soldering.
The process is entirely manual. We're just physically crimping a pin onto the end of it.
I like the no soldering part.
Yeah.
All right, so how do we do this? Show me how to do this, how an idiot that hasn't done this before can just get up and run and make beautiful stuff just like you.
Okay.
So that I can create my own Nerdy Ninjas 2 business and compete with you directly.
We welcome it. We're working on the last two wires here. So essentially we have to be able to peel back the sleeving from the underlying wire.
Oh, so there's actually like a layer of sleeving that's on that that's like the fabric.
Exactly.
Then under that you have the plastic insulator and the wire. Okay, so it's like three little stages.
Yeah, so in the core we have our copper stranded wire in here, and essentially the sleeving is just an aesthetic coating to make this look good. So most of the time you're going to see where it's like a paracord or something like that. It's nylon sleeving that's used on systems. So we're just going to pull this back, and we grab our handy dandy little strippers right here, feed it in. We want to make sure that we at least give ourselves enough wire to crimp, so we'll check that. And that just basically pulled the insulating plastic coating off.
Okay, and that's fully adjustable for how much sheathing you take off.
So you can adjust the length and everything, and manually by hand.
Okay.
And then we're going to go ahead and twist up this stranded copper. That'll make it easier to insert into the pin before we crimp it.
Now that I'm familiar with. Years and years of speaker wires.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you try to crimp it without twisting it, it's not going to hold. Over time, it's going to break loose, and just like your Toyota Corolla, you're going to have problems.
It did. It blew the engine.
So we'll move on to the next one, and we're going to peel that back.
Hey, let me try this one.
You know what?
Let's do this.
Hold on. Let's reset.
Oh, you're going to make me...
I'm going to make you start from zero, and you're going to become a hero, okay?
Okay, here we go. I'm excited.
There you go.
All right, guys, so now I got my own little wire right here. So the first thing I gotta do is I gotta pull back the foreskin. All right, so the first thing you gotta do is you gotta pull back the sheathing. And, oh my God, I wanna giggle so bad. Okay, so now we got these guys, right? So you just...
Strippers. These are strippers, yeah.
See, yeah, these are the strippers. Oh, they're knippers. Knippics.
I just call them strippers.
They're just strippers? All right. All right, so this is, did you buy them in Portland? Is this a Portland stripper?
These are Richard strippers.
These are Richard's personal strippers?
I'm not sure if he got them in Vegas or Florida or wherever.
He seems like a Vegas kind of stripper guy.
It could have been Craigslist, you never know.
So what you got to do is stick it in there. Okay, till it butts up against that little plastic piece in there, right? And then just get it in the grip and then just squeeze it?
Yep. Boom. And
wow,
look at that.
That was quick.
Was that the easiest stripper you've ever had in your life?
That was the easiest stripper interaction I've ever had.
I mean, the job got done.
Yeah. I wasn't anxious at all. It just happened very naturally.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was very cool. Okay, so now I'm going to twist these right here. All right. Use my little double direction technique. You like that? Look, I perfected that back in the 80s.
I like it.
Twisting both.
That's a time saver.
It is. All right. So now I got my pokey little wire. And it's twisted. So what do we got to do now?
All right, so basically we're going to move over to the pins that we have.
Okay.
And they come on big spools because reality, most all crimp jobs are done by robots.
Okay.
So this is like a belt of ammunition that they just
The machine's just feeding, chaining through.
Exactly.
So what does something like that cost? Are they pretty inexpensive to get these little posts?
This is probably a bag of 100, and it might have cost like $2-3.
Oh, geez. Okay, so and that'll last you multiple bills.
They're nowhere like if you buy these in volume, they're basically a penny a piece, if that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we want to take a look at the pin here, and we notice we have these little tabs or these wings. That is what we're actually going to be crimping onto the wire that allows electrical conductivity to the pin and holds the wire in place.
Okay.
So we're going to have to actually line up both of our wires.
Okay.
And we want to make sure that the copper is the same length between both of them.
I mean, that's pretty damn close.
That is pretty close. Now, go ahead and twist those together.
Oh, so we're going to run both of these into one connector?
Run it into one, exactly.
So that it's like a bridge. Okay.
And you want to do a good job twisting that up nice and tight, because when you're going into a standard pin like this, you don't have a lot of headroom to work with.
How's that look?
I like it.
All right.
Looks good to me.
So now we got to slide the pin on there?
So I'll show you what happens here when we do a crimp. We basically insert it into the crimper, okay?
Here, bring it in front of the camera over here a little bit.
So we go ahead and insert the pin.
Okay.
And when we close the crimper, you'll notice that those wings are actually going to fold over.
Oh, it's like a ratcheting action. Okay.
And that's how you get the insulation layer locked in on the pin, so when you pull on the cable, it's not pulling on the actual wire, it's pulling on the insulation layer.
Gotcha.
Then you have an inner crimp, which is actually going to crush around the copper wire itself, and that's going to be electrical connection.
And every time I've ever done that with pliers, it has gone horribly wrong and it's fallen off.
Yeah.
I've never, okay.
If you look here, you look at that, it's almost just like jewelry, like a bracelet's being made. It bends a specific way every time. Yep.
So it's worth it to have the tool. Absolutely.
Yeah, for consistency and reliability, the tool's where it's at.
Okay. So now we're going to slide that sucker on there? Or?
We notice it's a little bit longer than what we actually need here, so go ahead and trim about a third off of that.
Okay.
A little bit more. Perfect, yep.
Sorry, these are Rod Rosenberg's nippers, and he doesn't maintain his tools very well.
I think we call those BS tools.
The BS tools. All right. How's that look? Now we got a little nubby on there.
That looks good. You think that'll, if we get that around the insulation there, it should do fairly well.
Okay.
Okay.
So you want it right up to the insulation?
Right up to it, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're doing a double wire, we're actually not going to have a wrap around the insulation on this particular one.
Gotcha. Okay, so now I got the little pin.
Yep.
Oh, so now we need the crimpers, right?
It's hard to hold that together. You almost need 3-4 hands.
Oh, geez.
And what you can do is you can actually line up the pin inside the crimper, start to crimp it so it holds in place because it's ratcheting.
Okay.
Then slide your wire in and give it the final crimp.
Ah, okay. So
let's go ahead and open it up. Let's get you to put the pin inside the crimper first. Keep it off
the pin
the wire.
in the crimper.
Yep.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, so
you're gonna free up your hands this way.
So basically, put it in there like this.
Yep. And then get the one click
like that.
Is it holding in?
Yep.
Okay.
It is.
Perfect.
And then push that all the way into it.
Yep.
Nope. I probably should ratchet
a little bit more. Yep.
There we go. Much better. Okay, so now it's holding it. See, I'm not having to squeeze it. So let's go ahead and push that in now. Okay, it went in nice and smooth.
Is it all the way up to the insulation?
As far as I can push it in.
Then let's crimp it.
Then just ratchet it down.
All the way.
And release.
Let go. How's it look?
It was going really fast.
I don't think you get much better than that.
You just put 2 wires in one and it looks good.
So there's 2 wires going into one of those. You wouldn't even think it would be able to fit in there.
No, yeah. And we do this because we're basically going to stealth the termination of both wires in the connector itself.
Okay.
And that way it looks clean.
Okay, so where are these 2 wires going? Now that we got the little barb on the end here, what do we got to do with it?
So we're going to have to plug it into the 8-pin on the side of the power supply. So this is going to go into the PSU.
Okay.
And I've had to essentially use a tool any kind of tool that you can fit in here to break the divider on this particular pinhole.
Okay.
So we can fit the double wires in there. Otherwise, there's just not enough room. They're only made for one wire.
Do you not use that other pinhole?
We don't use the other pinhole.
So you can sacrifice that little barrier.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the way that this power supply is designed, it's coming off of this pinout right here.
Okay.
From the power supply, we're going to take 2 lines, which then go out to the 6 pin to provide.
Gotcha.
So what we want to do here is look at the actual pin itself. You'll notice that one side is rounded right here and one side is square.
Got it.
If you look inside the hole, notice how one side is rounded and one side is square.
Yes.
Okay, and you can also take a look inside and you can see how you got the dome on the top of the hole.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
That's how you know which direction this goes in. There are gold wings that when you slide it in, lock it in place. And I don't know if you can see those there. And those wings prevent it from pulling out when you go to plug it in.
So you have to commit to this. Once you insert it, that pin is in there.
It is, exactly. Yeah. So let's get you to go ahead and plug it in there.
All right, so looking down into that little hole.
And
you can see
which side is it? Round on the top?
the round is on the top.
Okay, then identify that on your cable. You'll notice that there's a rounded
Yep,
edge
I
right
see
there.
that right there.
And just go ahead and slide it in until it clicks.
Oh, what now? Get it.
And it'll be a little hard, and you can see if you're making good progress here, you're going a little bit too far. So
oops.
Don't pull on the wires, but
Okay.
let's push it back a little bit.
Okay.
There we go. It's
There
in
it
place.
is.
Done.
And there it is. Now we got that pin in place. That's awesome.
And then if you look at the side of the wiring here, when we push this sleeving up, notice how it now has the natural look of the 2 wires plugged in.
Oh, wow. So it does
That's
look
why
like
we
you're
did
using
that.
all the pins, but you're not.
Exactly. So we want to make it look like you've got all 8 pins there instead of just having 7. And that's how it's done.
That's awesome. So now you have this cable that branches off from an 8 to a 6 and a 2.
Yep, exactly.
And you're just on that one that we just installed there, you're just pulling, is that an extra positive or is that extra ground?
That one right there is going to be an extra ground.
So an extra ground, and then you just chose these colors because of the theme
Yep.
of the design. So guys, it's really that easy. I can tell you, I've tried to do this before with pliers a long time ago. It failed miserably. I ended up literally just hacking everything together. So it's definitely worth it to just buy a couple of these simple tools.
Easy,
and get
yeah.
this stuff. Now, where's a good place to go to buy stuff like all these little plastic connectors and everything?
You know, the best place to go for all these connectors is going to be Primo Chill.
Primo Chill?
Yep, PrimoChill.com. They're going to have the wires, they're going to have the sleeving, they're going to have the Terminators connectors. They've even got a whole assortment of pinning, deep pinning tools.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So guys, check out Primo Chill. Primo Chill.
Yep.
They're not actually a sponsor of the channel in any way, but trust me, if Travis says that's where you go, that's where you go. This guy has done some amazing, amazing things, and he's got to carry that Richard guy. You know, the guy struggles, and you know he really needs help from his friends to keep him up there. You know, don't you feel like Richard, if we weren't there to support him, he would just kind of fall apart?
You know, it's a lot of work hanging out with Richard.
It's a lot of work.
Takes a lot of time and energy.
It's a lot of work, but he's adorable.
It's well worth it.
Yeah, I agree. So Nerdy Ninjas, guys, check them out. It's cool to get a little tutorial like this because honestly, I do phone it in a lot and I need to start doing my own stuff. And to be honest, this actually seems like a project that would be fun to do on any computer. Just take your own computer apart and go build some new custom fancy cables. You can even braid these if you wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
So Travis, I feel like we should at least show them where this cable goes in this awesome little computer you're building behind us. So what do you say we install this bad boy?
I say we do it.
Let's do it. Here you go, bud.
All right.
There's Richard over there phoning it in. Look at him. Look at that Richard guy over there.
What's up?
Look at that guy. Oh, you got a picture of the rig on the rig. Wow.
Like a rig inception.
It's Rigception. You can already see there's a ton of cables in here that you guys already did. These are all custom?
Yes.
That you did. Do you guys do most of your cables on all your cases and your builds?
Yeah, pretty much every rig we build, we try to do sleeved cables.
It just keeps everything clean because you control the length on absolutely everything.
Yeah, I mean, you know, in the colors too, when you have a build, it's really nice to match
Yep.
the color of the wires to the theme of the build rather than having that rainbow, lots of yellow and whatever greens and blues that you have in there.
Right.
It just doesn't look clean. The cables are too long. You got to zip tie them, so it really kind of pulls the system together.
I agree. Looks like we have a GTX 980 Ti right here. Because Nerdy Ninjas is too poor to afford 1080s yet. Lols. And for some of you guys that might not remember who Travis is and where I met him, it was actually at the Cooler Master booth at PAX Prime. This guy was overclocking the hell out of computers by pouring liquid nitrogen on them. And I think you actually hold a couple world records, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, in my years, I've set a few records.
Except for AMD. I heard you can't overclock AMD because they're factory overclocked.
You know, some of my records were set with AMD chips a long, long time ago.
And fires too, right?
And fires. But liquid nitrogen is a great fire extinguisher.
Plug it in, plug it in. All right, is it gonna smoke? Nope, look at that. That means I put the wire. Whoa, easy, easy.
Yes.
So guys, what that means basically is I put the wire in the right hole. So everything that stripper did for me was for the best. So the lesson of this video, kids, is all you need is a good pair of strippers. Hey, look who decided to finally show up again after all the hard work was done. You know all about that, don't you, Travis?
I had to take a long poop nap and thinking of you, so.
The guy literally, he like hangs out with Villanella Ice for like 2 seconds, and he thinks he's more famous than me, and he'd be right. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something cool. I hope that you found that this is a skill that's easy to approach and it's non-threatening, and you should totally do it. But if you screw up and burn your computer down or whatever, you didn't hear it from us. All right, take it easy, guys. Till next time. NerdyNinjas.com. Almost definitely not a porn site. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please take a moment and subscribe to my channel. It helps me a lot. Also come over to Twitter. I'm at Barnacules. I'm a real social guy. Also, if you have a couple of minutes, check out some of these many other videos. I made them myself.